So last night, WWE had Smackdown Live, and this was right after the All Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing press conference or rally or whatever you want to call it. And what I found really interesting about this press conference, obviously, they delivered some really big news. It had a lot of people talking. And not only did it capture the attention of fans and YouTube creators and wrestling media, even mainstream media, not only was it the #2 trend in the United States, it also got the attention of Vince McMahon. And what was really interesting this time was Vince McMahon apparently ordered security in the Smackdown arena that were being shown on hard cam. He ordered security to have those people either change their shirt or flip their shirt inside out. Now, there were some reports prior to the actual pay-per-view, There was some news that came out prior to the taping of Smackdown that fans were walking in with AEW merchandise were not able to get in. And this is really interesting stuff because to me, I feel like I can see why WWE may not want it in their arena. But at the end of the day, wrestling for everybody is a good thing. In fact, I think this will actually help WWE really step up their game. Now, some of those reports were rumored to be phony because, well, a lot of people were getting videos with security and they were debunking that security and people, at the gate had told them, they have videos of these people telling them, no, you can wear whatever you want, not a big deal. But then a couple hours later, it was reported that during SmackDown Live on the hard cam, fans were told they had to flip their shirt inside out because this was coming from Vince McMahon. Now, if true, this could be a situation where WWE looks weak, showing a sign of weakness, because they have people on their show that could very well be on their way out of WWE and into the locker room of All Elite Wrestling. But I think WWE is a powerhouse in pro wrestling, obviously. So it doesn't shock me if WWE doesn't want to highlight another pro wrestling company. But what's really interesting, and I know this from experience because I went to WrestleMania and I've gone to other wrestling shows, people have been wearing competitor attire for a while. Young Bucks shirts, Bullet Club, whatever it may be. So why is this a big deal? I was reading on Twitter that people feel Vince McMahon genuinely hates the idea of All Elite Wrestling because, as we've said in previous videos, it's being funded by a billionaire. But I don't think that's necessarily true because I think WWE loves the idea of competition. I think they get a feeling of beating their competition. I feel like they just enjoy that feeling so much. Does WWE truly see All Elite Wrestling as a threat? It's a good question. That's a question I want to ask you guys, the viewers. Do you guys think WWE feels threatened by All Elite Wrestling? See, I don't think All Elite Wrestling was just an idea 5 months ago. Prior to All In, I think there was some sort of idea that a new pro wrestling company was going to emerge. I don't think it was a full concrete idea, but I think for a really, really long time, I think guys like Neville knew for a while there was going to be an alternative. And I think that's the reason why WWE might feel threatened. I think WWE knew for a while that All Elite Wrestling was going to be a big thing. But after the response yesterday from the rally, it would not shock me if WWE was looking to limit what people were wearing inside the arena, especially on hard cam. Now, I don't hate WWE and I don't hate All Elite Wrestling. And if you are a fan who hates on one of these companies, don't. I advise everybody to try and enjoy all sorts of wrestling. I'm not a fan of ROH, but I'm a fan of Impact. I don't think Impact is better than WWE. I don't think WWE is better than Impact. I love NXT. I think NXT is the best and most consistent wrestling product that exists in the world today. So, that's my personal opinion. You can't tell me I'm wrong for that. Just like I can't tell you you're wrong for thinking AEW is going to smoke WWE. It's about time WWE has somebody who's going to throw on some big shows. Double or Nothing is going to take place at the MGM Grand. Maybe WWE does feel threatened. And if they don't feel threatened, I hope they don't become content. Because being content means laziness. I'm really interested to see what WWE is going to do here. The idea that people were being turned away from wearing All Elite Wrestling merchandise, and they haven't even thrown their first pro wrestling show. But the fact that they've been turned away or told they cannot enter the arena, it's really interesting. Now, me personally, I'm a pro wrestling fan. And I've always kind of enjoyed just watching WWE. When WCW was around, I was too little. I was too young. So I feel a little bit of an excitement because I'm not saying AEW is really going to compete with WWE. I don't think with the roster that we've seen so far announced, I don't think there's a way they're immediately going to make an impact or a dent on WWE. But long term, I feel like this is a healthy thing for the industry, even as a fan of WWE. Now, there was some words being posted on Twitter about AEW having a show called Tuesday Night Dynamite. I'm not sure. They haven't announced anything. They haven't talked about it. But it doesn't sound like their intention is to have Monday Night Wars all over again. And that's definitely not a good move. When you look at the roster WWE has in developmental, that alone is probably bigger and better than any roster that is seen on television. And when I say television, I'm not just talking Raw and SmackDown. I'm talking everybody. New Japan, ROH, Impact Wrestling. I would say NXT has a better roster. There's a lot of potential with that roster. So there's really no reason for WWE to be scared of All Elite Wrestling. But perhaps they feel a certain way because All Elite Wrestling is becoming the cool thing. Even though the internet wrestling fans make up a very small percentage of pro wrestling fans, they exist. And sometimes their voices are heard more than anybody else's. So if that's the case, then maybe WWE could start catering to their internet fans. I'm going to pull up a tweet. This tweet's actually been getting a lot of views. All Elite Wrestling posted the video of Chris Jericho signing his contract, and I quote, retweet this. I say, "This is a major blow to WWE." Chris Talks Shit says, "How many times has Jericho been on WWE TV in the last 2 years?" Great question. And I respond, it's not about that. If you ask a casual fan about Chris Jericho, they don't talk to you about New Japan. They don't talk to you about the show that he had on the cruise. They will talk to you about WWE. Now, here's the thing. In 5 months, when he's on a TV show for a company that's not WWE and he's consistently there, I think a lot of people are going to realize that's the attention WWE doesn't want All Elite Wrestling to get. And that right there is why it's a big blow to WWE. Now, what's really interesting is there's companies like Evolve that are working on developing talent for the indies. They have a relationship with WWE. My curiosity is whether WWE stops them from moving talent to AEW. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. My name is Tony, and I'm from Destination Pro Wrestling. You guys could click that subscribe button. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Daily videos, podcast style. I'm not a journalist. I'm just a fan giving you guys my perspective on things. And if you agree, that's awesome. If you don't, that's cool too. That's the beauty about what we do. So I'll see you guys in the next one.
You have reached your destination.